That brings us to Philly. Philly, to me, is the single most interesting team in the offseason. They have Butler. They have Tobias Harris, who they traded a lot to get. And there's a certain sunk cost element to that. Like, well, we got to keep him. We traded all this stuff. And everyone forgets about JJ Redick. And the noise about Philly is absolutely all over the place about what they're going to do, what they might do. It changes every day. There are different players become attached to them. Well, I have my own opinion, but what are you hearing? What is on Butler Harris? Take your pick. What is, if you had to pick your most likely Philly scenario, what do you think it is?
Well, there's two things here. First of all, they've got to want them all back. They have to want to pay all of them, and then those players have to want to all play with each other. Does Tobias Harris want to be the fourth option? Now, he could get paid like a first or second option. He's going to, I'm sure, look at that. Jimmy Butler, same thing. He's going to have other options. Daryl Morey trying to partner him up in Houston. And you know, JJ Redick, we don't talk about JJ. He has played tremendous basketball for them last year.
There are times where when he's not on the floor, where his shooting feels like this is literally the most important thing going on in their offense, is that they have this guy running around.
Yeah, and I think, listen, there are a lot of voices in Philadelphia. Elton Brand is a general manager, and he is in charge. But you've got multiple owners. You have other strong voices in the front office and on the business side. And sometimes this conversation goes round and round there because there isn't an easy answer. Because financially, this will strap this organization to bring back everybody, all of that money. And then Ben Simmons. We saw in the playoffs, you know, Jimmy Butler was the playmaker in the playoffs, and they weren't playing Ben Simmons down the stretch. And Ben Simmons is up for his max extension, and he's not taking $1 less than the max. And so those things are all playing into what's the cost of this thing moving forward.
And that, to me, is the most interesting part, is how dependent they were on Jimmy to run the offense in the playoffs. And the timing of this is interesting, too, because if Jimmy doesn't take a deal from them right away, do they start to panic and worry? And that brings us to the guy we haven't talked about, Kawhi Leonard. It seems like it's a two-team race. Is that fair at this point?
Yeah. Toronto, the Clippers, and listen, I think they've kept their eye on the Lakers and what that's going to look like. The Lakers, financially, can they get to, what number are they going to get to in free agency in terms of cap space? Is Anthony Davis going to give up that $4 million trade bonus? He still has time to do that before July 6th, and that deal goes through. But this has been a Raptors-Clippers race. And you give the Raptors, Masai Ujiri, that organization, all the credit in the world, because when they traded for him, he had no intention of ever staying in Toronto, and now it is a serious consideration. I think he has really given them every opportunity to sell him. And two things that have worked in Toronto: they sold him on health. They proved they could keep him healthy, and they sold him on winning. And those are priorities for Kawhi Leonard. He has shown he is all about winning.
And they couldn't have made a better case. Winning the title helps, it turns out. The interesting thing to me is if he's going to meet with the Clippers, and all indications are that he is, and he wants to bring another guy with him there, well, who is that other guy? Is that guy going to wait for Kawhi to commit to the Clippers? And is that guy's team going to wait for all those things to happen, or do they move on? Like, all these dominoes are timed correctly.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.